Very good afternoon to all of you. Good evening rather. Okay, so with your claps and with your smiles, I can make out that there is at least something, or at least one thing that you've liked about the video. Did you? So the reason why I risked starting with a video was, as one of my friends just said, that images make a greater impact. And I see it did. So let's start how it all started. What helped us reach here? So when I was a student, I did my MBA. I had to take a job offer because I didn't want people to say he didn't have anything to do. So instead what I did was I sat in for a placement, took an offer letter, had another offer letter, qualified for a state university as a lecturer, had all of them as a proof that yes, I'm not worthless. I'm capable of doing something and I should do something better. And that's how it all started. And there's a saying by George Bernard Shaw which actually hit me when I was a student, that some people look at things that aren't, say, why? And there are people who dream of things that never were and ask, why not? So with one why not, we started the school. So in the next 14-15 minutes probably, I would not be discussing how we got these 500 kids to school. Instead, we'll talk of ideas. Simple, plain, small ideas which actually helped us bring about a little change in those 500 lives which we intend to add on zeros in the coming days. Ideas. As one of my friends just said, how powerful it can be. And trust me, it need not be very big. You don't need to have a big, grand idea. You see a sapling, right? A small tree is very small, a sapling. So small is irrelevant. It's how you nurture that one particular idea. And the one that we started with was teach. We didn't replace Brambe. Education was something that people never cared about. If a child went to school, the parents were happy with the thought that his son is going to school, irrespective of whether or not he's learning in the school. So if you ask them, आपका बेटा स्कूल जाता है? हाँ, मेरा बेटा स्कूल जाता है. आपका बेटा स्कूल में पढ़ता है? It's like, does your child study in the school? पता नहीं, I don't know. We try to change that mindset. We started making the guardians responsible for what the children are doing. And that is what Reach to Teach was all about. We literally went door to door into the villages around the school, finding out how many kids were there in the house, how many of them were going to school, if not, why, if yes, what was his progress. We started hunting for orphan kids. Kids who had nobody to take care of them. And at the present time, we have around 95 kids studying absolutely free of cost in our school. The rest pay a very nominal of 100 rupees a month. So that's what Reach to Teach was all about. This story is of Biru Go. He was a seller. So it looks very simple. An image on the left, an image on the right. Simple. A boy who sells sprouts, convince him, he goes on to school. But in between these two pictures, there are many challenges. Because when you have an idea, challenges come complementary. It's like the moment your idea strikes in, you have an idea, you have a bunch of challenges ready. Okay, you have an idea, sir? Here's your part of challenges. Oh, another idea, another packet of challenges. The point is, how do you deal with those challenges? So our take was, we have challenges, we just pick up the first 4 alphabets, the letters. And what is that? Chal, karte hain. So we convince this guy, you sell him sprouts, you continue doing that. Because this child had to support his parents financially. So we say, you come to the school in the first half, second half, you do your business, support your family. Convince the parents, this child is coming to school, studying absolutely free of cost. Now with so many gurus coming to school, we suddenly ran short of teachers. We ran short of resources. And when my friend said, to do something, you don't need money, you need resources. I would get down a little more from that. You don't even need resources. You need just a little passion. And trust me, we don't even have resources. We don't even have benches. We don't have teachers. We don't have classrooms. Nothing. Just a bunch of kids wanting to study and a bunch of fools, very similar to me, wanting to teach. Everything just flew in. So with Reach to Teach came this concept of volunteer teach. We started collaborating with colleges. And we had student volunteers coming in. We collaborated with Bill Institute of Technology. We collaborated with Xavier Ranchi. We collaborated with Central University of Jharkhand. We have people, even though we could not formalize with IIM Ranchi, but yes, we have volunteers coming in. IIM did participate with us in a couple of other programs. So we have people coming in. Now with this new idea, we had another set of challenges. Oh, you have an idea? Challenges. And what were those? These people were not free when you wanted them to be free. They could come to your school when they are free, not when you wanted them to be. So what do? Chal, karte. Live classroom. We came up with this concept. If you can't come to my school, I'll take my classroom, my school to your living rooms. Teach. No excuses. You want to teach? Teach. I'll give you a way to reach our classrooms. And what you see over here is the most unprofessional video conferencing going on. The most ugly looking thing, because you know we have a chair which is placed on top of a table and a laptop which is placed on top of a chair. We've connected speakers, but the point is the show must go on. The effect, as we said, we saw Sugata Mitra in the morning talking about video conferencing, and I was smiling that I wish Sugata knew that what we are trying to do in this small village in Brambe. Exactly the same thing. And this session went on for almost 3 hours uninterrupted. And this guy is Rahul Gagawat from Sanofi, Massachusetts. And we have discussions like my cousins who are staying in the US, they interact with these kids and we have some healthy discussions. It's not necessarily academics that they talk about. It could be general discussions like what is better. A regular classroom teaching like in India, we have different books for maths copy, an English copy, a science copy, or the counterparts in the US who have an iPad for everything. So my cousins advocated for an iPad and my students advocated for a regular notebook. And when we asked them why are notebooks better than iPads, and they said, you can't practice handwriting on an iPad. You can't improve your handwriting. So with this live classroom, we have more kids coming to school. And this Blessed Child is a concept where kids who are orphans, they study absolutely free of cost. Now the reason I've used this image is because we get motivated by looking at these images. And it's not just one thing. There are 3 things I'd like to show from here. Number 1, you have a girl child studying out here who would rather not have come to school. Probably. We convinced her, she's coming to school. The first terminal you see, she scored 47 in English, 55 in Hindi, 48 in maths. And then what the most disturbing part is, she's missed all the oral examinations. The reason being, they did not find it important. They said, "ठीक है, exam hai," they just skip it. So in between the first and the final examination, there was a lot of effort that went in, and this was the result. The result, not the marks that we're talking about. The marks is not what I'm concerned about, because if we talk about marks, the first person to walk off the stage will be me. So those are the nightmares that you would really not want to get back to. But what we really see is this girl has started attending all the examinations. She's scoring well, and most importantly, continuing her education. So in a school, what we follow is, if a child does well, she is responsible. And if she doesn't, we are responsible. So that's it. that is the kind of responsibility we take in and we inculcate in every teacher. That if you do good, pat pat. If you don't do good, where is your teacher? It goes that way. Now, the other concept that we tried to bring in was change without changing. We have 9 schools around our school being the newest. We've grown to 500 kids now. So every school changes the book every year. The reason being, new books, kids will buy it, more commission, more money. We said, let's change it. We don't change books. So what happens is, a grade 1 student, when he goes to grade 2, buys the book at half the price from a senior class and sells it at half the price to the junior class. Makes some money, spend half, you only have to buy the notebooks. Small ideas, great impacts. Because the villages were not sending the kids because they felt they're wasting money. You're not wasting your money, you're saving your money. Where's the excuse? Send your kids now. I mean, we never let you make an excuse. The other thing which we started was freedom heroes. We never call in chief guests, politicians, bureaucrats, nobody. We pick in local people who are making efforts to educate their children. This lady is Salome Tigga. Her children were not willing to send her grandchildren to school. She has 7 grandchildren. She single-handedly takes care of all of them. 4 of them, she pays for them. 3 of them are studying absolutely free of cost. So if you take one step towards us, we run towards you. So we started, encouraging people this way. We started, acknowledging people's contribution, the way they are struggling. And this seemed to work. Because everybody loves to be appreciated, don't we? Now this is what we firmly believe in. As students, we all have aspirations of becoming entrepreneurs, being your own boss, and all those, pleasing words that we all tell to ourselves every time. And we all look out for big opportunities. We'll do this. 10 years down the line, I'll do this. Why not now? So I don't have the resources. I don't have a teamwork. I don't have people, my parents will not allow it. Cool. Make a start. Because what we feel is, do whatever you can, no matter how small it is, how insignificant that is. But make a start. Where do I do it? Wherever you are. I'm in Brambe, I started there. You are in Bhubaneswar, start it here. It's not that you have to get associated with me only. There are so many, his organization is doing a wonderful job, and there are many more like our institutions. Pick up any one of them, find how genuine they are. If you can connect with their ideologies, their style of working, try and do something. And then you see what change together we can bring about. So that's what we say. Do what you can, with whatever you have, wherever you are. And trust me, as I always say, wherever I go, once you are into a social venture, you've got to be 2 things that you have to be very careful about. Number 1, if you are into a social venture, you've got to be very careful, because once you start it, you should have a team to follow it up. Because like in a regular job, if you quit a company, there are thousands of people dying to take your place. Or probably even kick you out even if you don't want to come out of the company. But for a social venture, things are not very same. You have to ensure that if you start something, you are going to take it forward. And if not you, there is a team to back you up. And the happiest side is, once you are into a social cause, you don't have competitors to compete with. You just have co-workers. If you are genuinely working for a cause, all these people together can focus to bring about a much bigger change. So that's the most comforting thing which we personally feel, and wake up every Monday morning. We hate Fridays, we love Mondays. Because Mondays are the place where we can actually enjoy our week. So if you don't have competition, but yes, do what you can with what you have and wherever you are. That's what we are doing, and that's what we hope that you will be doing someday soon. Thank you so much.